It's been several months since my friend's girlfriend broke up with him, and he still hasn't gotten over it because he's not able to accept what he can't change. And so I imparted some advice onto him that I also want to share with you in this video, because sometimes in life when things don't go your way, really the only choice you have is to accept that. So in my opinion, here's how to do that. So there are two steps you have to take. First, you have to distinguish between those elements that you can control versus those that you can't. And that's an important distinction to make, because if you fixate on those things that you can't control, then you're just going to perpetually be disappointed because you're hoping for something to change that never will. And if you concentrate on those things that you can control, then you can dedicate your resources towards achieving an outcome that's actually going to be more favorable for you. And that's the next step, is to identify what the next best outcome is that you can achieve with those control factors and how best to exercise that control in order to get there. And so in my friend's case, usually the conversation starts off with him saying something like, I miss her family, I wish I could go back and change X, Y, or Z. And why is he doing that? Because he hasn't gone through that process. He hasn't made the distinction between what he can and can't change and what the next best outcome is and how best to achieve that outcome. Instead, he thinks that subconsciously, if he just laments over the loss, then somehow that'll change. Somehow they'll get back together and live happily ever after. But if he did go through that process, then what would that look like? Well, he can't control how she feels, which is a necessary element in them getting back together. He can't control time. He can't go back in time and change what he said or did. He just can't salvage that relationship or win her back. No matter how much he wants to, he just can't. But what can he control? Well, to an extent, he can control his stress level and his emotional state. He can control what he does from here, the level of effort that he puts forth to meeting somebody new and moving on. And so given that, what is the next best outcome that he can achieve? He can lessen that emotional pain and try to find someone new and move on with his life. And how does he exercise that control? Well, for one, he can rationalize it as best he can and say that it was unfortunate that it had to end the way that it did, but I'm grateful for that experience because I enjoyed it while it lasted and I learned a lot from it. I'm a better person because of it. So I'm not going to dwell on that anymore. And he can put forth his best effort to put himself out there and meet new people and remain optimistic about establishing new relationships. So similar to this, there are many things in life that you just can't change whether you like it or not. You can't change your mortality, you can't change the weather, you can't change what people think of you, and you can't change the cards that you're dealt in life. And so the best way to salvage things is to accept that rather than trying to fight it. And the right way to do that is by following the process that we outlined in this video. So if this helps, try it out. Let me know how it works for you, and I'll see you in the next video.